questions. Okay, so now we're recording. Welcome back, everybody, to the podcast Behind Closed Deals. And as you know, with this podcast, the goal is to find these entrepreneurs and these leaders in our industry, in any industry for that matter, and really get to know them and why they were so driven to reach the success level that they've reached, and why they don't stop climbing that mountain, why they continuously are driven, because they have so many people depending on them, not only their families, but so many others that also work for them and alongside of them. So today we have the pleasure of sitting down with Ibrahim Hussein, who is a dear friend and brother of mine. And thank you, Ibrahim, for joining us today.
Nadia, thank you. What a beautiful message and the idea of a podcast to talk about that particular topic. Thank you for having me. It's an honor.
Oh, it's a pleasure having you. Ibrahim, one of the things that always has inspired me about you is first getting to know the individual that you are, getting to know where you came from and how you became to be. And, looking at you is, one thing on social media, but getting to know you behind the scenes is a completely different picture. We see someone on social media that most times is in a suit, speaking on stages, leading individuals. Life looks like it's a beautiful life that you lead, but no one knows how long it took you to get here and the struggles you've had to go through, and the different hurdles that you've gone through. So take us back to, I know you're not originally from Canada, you immigrated here. Take us back to how you started. What was your background before getting into real estate? And then take us into how you became what you are today.
Awesome. Thank you, Nadia. By the grace of God, thanks to my parents, I was born and raised in Egypt. I came to Canada 12 years ago. Mm-hmm. We belong to a very nice, regular, normal, middle-class family. Life is good. We don't have any luxurious stuff, but we don't have a hard life either. So thank God my parents did a good job. So growing up, I went to law school, graduated, met my wife, moved to Canada 2012, practiced law for 3 years before I come to Canada, realizing continuing my law career is going to be like a step backwards, not forward. So I'm doing a business decision, math decision based. It was the right decision not to continue and get into the business side of things. Did quite a bit of importing and exporting business, my brother and I, and back family business. Life situations and the country economical situation back home happened, stopped everything. So out of our control. So I gotta have to be like, okay, cool. We're in Canada here. We're gonna have to figure out our life within Canada to support our life in Canada. Mm-hmm. So if I were to let go of my career, what I went to school for, what I'm good at, that new career that I'm gonna get myself into, it has to worth what I had to let go of. Mm-hmm. So I did a couple, multiple, I'm good with sales, negotiations. Which was part of my law career prior to that, under the umbrella of a maritime law, which goes under the umbrella of corporate law. Mm-hmm. So long story short, I'm good with that, good with the sales aspect of the things. So I did a whole bunch of small business plans for wireless companies, and then I ended up being into real estate, knowing that can be a career. So that can be a business, not a job. And then it's up to me how far I can take it based on how much input I'm putting in.
Who was it that influenced you to get into real estate? Was it a particular person, or was it research that you did on your own?
It was both. It was a research I did on my own because I don't want to just have a job. I want to have a career, and that mm-hmm. career has to worth what I had to let go of. So if anybody here is in the real estate space, you need to understand how blessed you are to be in that career for one simple reason. If you were to be a lawyer or a doctor or an engineer, mm-hmm. or maybe a pilot, okay, factor in you will go to school anywhere between 6 to 10 years of education.
Correct.
You will pay anywhere between $120,000 to $475,000 of tuition mm-hmm. per career to graduate to make anywhere from 6 figures up to whatever, based on how good you are. as a
There's a
doctor.
cap. There's
Yeah.
definitely a cap on those careers.
And then, so you can be that lawyer, doctor, engineer, pilot, or you can be you, in that case, real estate agents, real estate professional, and pays like 7,000 maybe tuition in Ontario here, Canada.
Yep.
Some other places cheaper than that. And about 6 months to 1 year educational time frame. So you can be this or you can be that. Which one would be? So if you look at it that way, and then apply the professionalism, because doctors are professionals, lawyers are professionals. So if you can be a real estate doctor, I'm a real estate engineer, I'm a real estate lawyer. You get it? Like, I'm approaching it with the same mindset, the same mentality.
Right.
How would you show up as? And then what kind of advantage you have as a professional in that career amongst the other ones who have to go 10 times more time for education than you, maybe like 23 times more fees than you for tuition wise. So it's kind of like put things in perspective here of how blessed you are to be in the career that we have. So,
and then when you're successful in real estate, you know, the one thing is that there is no cap, there is no limit on what you can make, because it also branches out into so many other things. But
yes.
when you are, you know, a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, there's usually caps on those careers that you just can't climb further than that.
100%. And it's good to know that we have an 87% failure ratio in the industry.
Yes.
Out of 100 people obtain their license, wait for 2 years, 87 of them is out of the business. So 13 only stays. For me, that's some motivation, because like, holy crap, I can be one of those 13. Now, when you stay and be one of those 13, you're gonna have to understand, amongst the 13% that stays, they make up the number of current agent count in Canada. 80-20 rule kicks in. 20% of people do 80% of the business. I'm actually a firm believer in our industry in Ontario, okay? Probably 95-5, Nadia, if I'm not mistaken.
I would
I'm
have
a firm believer of that. Like,
yeah.
5% of the agent do 95% of the business, and vice versa.
Especially now, if we look at the statistics, I mean, if we look at the GTA alone, it went from an average of 2 transactions per agent down to 1 transaction per agent.
Yes.
These 60,000 agents are not doing one. Yeah.
100%. So it's a good, excellent career for those that have what it takes to excel in it. Those that treat it as a professional career understand that I am not less than a doctor. How I approach my career with professionalism. This is where my career, I'm not just selling houses. I manufacture people's dreams of home ownership. I'm elevator for the people around me to reach their success levels. Like, I'm a hope dealer for everybody around me that they can do better.
Yeah.
All of those stuff. So if you're approaching it that way, it's complete different mindset business than just like, I'm a good salesperson, I sell houses.
No, it's actually a very difficult career because it's self-motivated, and not a lot of people have that skill to be self-motivated. So to get up in the morning, you don't have a punch in, punch out card. You don't have a boss that cares if you wake up or you don't wake up, or what time you work to. And this isn't a 9-to-5 job. So, you know, realistically, people need to know you're getting into this to be a leader in the industry, an entrepreneur in the industry, and you can't fail at it. Many do fail. Like you said, 87 people out of 100 fail, but you want to be in that 13 people that don't make it. And you have to be driven all the time. So you have to know what it is that you're working hard towards and where you want to get to. So now that you've got your real estate license, start selling homes. You're doing great at selling homes. You know, take us into, why would you want to build a team?
I don't want to build a team. I want to build a business. That's a big difference between the two. Significant difference, because if you want to build a business, you're going to have to treat that new founding team as a startup company. This is a new startup company, has to be treated as such, and has to be treated as a business. Like, as a team leader, I always say to people around me, you are nothing more than an agent on the team that you just happen to found.
Yeah.
That team is a whole separate legal business entity, has to be treated as such. And you are, stop thinking too much of yourself, okay? You're a servant leader, a leader. You're nothing without the agents on the team that trusted you to partner with you to run their business at the company that you just happened to found. If they choose to no longer run their business at that company and go to a different company, you have no business.
Right.
So just humble yourself and understand that this is where If you're in the service industry, which we are, that service industry extend as the company itself servicing the business partners that come and run their business at the company. So
huge liability on your part, though. I mean, you look at it and you say, I'm working for myself. I am responsible for what I make to provide for my family.
sure.
Then I take on to having this business, team members that I'm now responsible for.
Mhm.
Why take on that responsibility?
Why do people work? That's a very simple question. Why do people work? For three reasons. All start with S. They work for survival, pay the bills, put food on the table, have shelters. They work for success, which is reaching a higher level than survival, which is success, which is very subjective matter in area. Like success can mean so many different things to so many different people.
Correct.
So different level of success. Above success, they work for significance, which is leaving a legacy behind them, which is like you're successful. That's a whole different story. Now, what kind of legacy are you leaving? And then that question leads us to a whole entire road of thinking. Philosophically, you think about that as when you die, would it make any real difference that you've lived? That
I
one,
love
that one question, like just between you and yourself, when you're brushing your hair up morning in the mirror, you're gonna die. It's inevitable, 100%. People just don't like to think about it. Put it aside for now, but it's the reality. So when you face that reality, now the question is, when you die, would it make any real difference that you've lived? So kind of like I leave you with that, and then like
how you impacted other people's lives
100%,
when
100%,
you were alive. That's
100%.
absolutely
It's
that's very, very well said, Ibrahim. Very
thank you,
well said.
thank you. It's a true hill, a real true hill of a meeting that I don't want anybody to have that meeting. There will be a meeting which is when the person you are meets the person that you could have been.
Mhm.
Like when these two people meet each other, that's a true hell. That's not good because
Absolutely.
the person you could have been meets the person that you are. Is like, look, you could have been here. Why didn't you? I'm like, holy crap, this is what I could have been, and this is who I am. Why didn't I do that? So when that person meets that person, there is a future version of you waiting to meet you on the other side of liability, taking responsibility, doing the boring stuff that people don't like to do, and solving the bigger problems, because the bigger the problem, the more the rewards.
Mhm.
So stop asking for fewer problems, ask for better skills to fix the bigger problems.
The most successful leaders, the most successful entrepreneurs that I've ever met are ones that have impacted and changed other people's lives. And the successful entrepreneurs and leaders, that's how they measure their success.
100%.
When you are pouring everything you have, not only for your family, but for also other people's lives, because they form such a significance in the circle around you that it makes you happy, it makes you more successful to see other people in your organization do as well as you do. You go through a lot of struggles, you go through a lot of hurdles, you go through a lot of pain, a lot of growing pain. What are some of the pains or struggles or hurdles that you've gone through in order to get to the level that you're at right now?
It's I call it conscious suffering.
Mhm.
It's a choice. Like you go through that pain, it's by
Yeah.
choice.
Oh, yeah. We
And
bring it on to ourselves.
yeah, and the conscious suffering is like you choose to do that every single day, and when you do that day in and day out consistently, it becomes a part of the job. So
Mhm.
I understand that a lot of things that we do for close people around me, it does freak the crap out of them. They get freaked out of the size of issues we're dealing with or the problem that we have to go through and all of that stuff. Some people, they just don't have the stomach for it, because if you're eating a food that you're not used to, your stomach might hurt.
Yeah.
But if you're eating that food every single day, your stomach's gonna get used to it.
Yeah.
So the analogy here is like if you're doing the boring, tough decisions every single day, yes, it does suck in the very beginning,
Mhm.
and it will suck for anybody that comes in and like from outside looking in is like, holy crap, what is this? the immune system against the problems, start like cultivating step by step, and
Yeah.
like it's this is just part of the game. Like we do that every single day. It is no longer a problem for me.
Yeah, it becomes a way of life because you're a problem solver for others. And that's what they look to you for, is that, you are the leader, the entrepreneur that is going to help them along the way. That's what makes you the strong leader that you are. Now we look at, what we're experiencing in today's society. And, we've come from backgrounds where nothing is handed to us. We've had to work, and a lot of entrepreneurs that I meet and leaders, nothing is ever handed to them. They've had to go through the hardship of building everything themselves. When we look at today's society, we look at it and say, are we forming leaders? Are we trying our best to take the younger generation, and try to form them into the leaders that they can be 20, 30 years from now? What is it that we can do more as leaders in the industry of real estate to help that generation and steer them in the right direction to have that same motivation level that we have? What would be your advice to them about this career and how to start it and where to take it?
In the real estate career specifically?
Specifically, yes.
Okay. Specifically real estate career.
I guess it could be applied to any career.
I mean, the simplicity of the real estate career is, I don't know of an industry that is more rewarding than the real estate career. Period. End of discussion. Like for me, like in terms of like the opportunities that you can tap on, they can capitalize and build the best future for yourself and your families and your loved ones and everybody else. So I look at it as simple solves the complex. Like, what is the absolute 2 to 3 things that I can do every single day with no overcomplicating things, such that by doing it, my career is bulletproof? Physics, the input equal the outputs. In the real estate career, it's a lot actually higher than that. Your input, the it's not a linear math with your growth. It's exponential. It's like you don't know where would that leave you at. So I look at this and I'm like, just don't take like
I see people getting into real estate and just wanting to start a team right away or wanting to partner up right away.
100%.
You've got to build that foundation that you have. So if they don't build that foundation, no matter what business they're in, you cannot have other people relying on you if you haven't figured out the path first.
Yes, the delayed gratification. You're gonna have to learn how to. Okay, I have to earn where I'm at. I have to put in the work to get to the results.
Right.
That's one. Two is people that I see them in the business, and I'm like, we already understand the failure ratio is 87%. Like when I sat with a new agents, newly licensed, I'm like, look, I just understand there is 4 out of 5 chance you're not gonna make it in the business. Okay, like I just know that from now. Like if I'm sitting, I'm going to meet 5 agents. I know like 4 of them is not going to make it. I still respect the future version of them in case they will become that one, because I don't know which one is. There is extremely difficult to predict who's going to make it and who's not in real estate. Okay.
Very, very, very hard. You never know.
You're gonna have to recognize the potential in people so that they begin to see it in themselves. So I'm sitting here knowing that it's a good chance I'm wasting 4 out of 5 times that sitting with those people. However, like respecting the future version of themselves in case they become that person, and then at the same time, like you're doing this to help them and recognize the potential and all of that stuff. And if the person has the potential and they're not really doing the work that they should be doing, I have a personal issue here. That personal issue is like, man, like you're not capitalizing on the gift that God has given you. Like you're literally like if you understand what you've got, and if you understand the what you're capable of doing and what will come out of it, and you're just choosing, because in the end of the day, the absence of something is the result of 2 things: either lack of willing or lack of knowledge.
Right.
Hey, listen, Nadia, I just don't know how to do this. Sure, no problem. Here's how to do it. Now, if you're not doing it, either you don't know how or you don't want to. If you don't know how, we teach you how. If you don't want to,
then
that,
can't
that,
do
that I cannot help you here. Like, I cannot help you. Like, I literally, but in addition to me not helping you, which is fine, if you keep in struggling with it and not doing the work, I'm like, bro, like, you're just, and
there's only so much that you can
yeah, if you're not doing this, and if you're not taking like personal care of your personal health, like all that, like, I'm like, you're just not appreciating the gift of life that God has given you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like our job in life is to match our reality to the best version of ourselves that we can possibly be. Like, where are you on this freaking map? Like, the map between where you are to where you want to be. Like, where are you now? Are you walking that right, or just
Yeah.
hanging out?
Yeah. Are you taking that path? Now, pouring so much energy into the business that you have, do you ever get moments where it's, why do I keep going? Why don't I just stop here and take care of myself only?
No, I understand what you're saying. Never happened to me. I do have a problem though, and that problem, I kind of know the reason, but I kind of had to ask. It was a big problem that I had to ask very close people to me. It's like, am I okay, or like, I don't get worried easily unless it's a family related like health issue. Other than that, like business wise, like as big of an issue problem, I'm as cool as cucumber can be. And then when I start to freaking out, a lot of people that I care about around me in the business side of things, I'm like, what if I'm missing something here? Like, how come like I don't get worried? Like, I'm like, everything is gonna be fine. And like, that could have gone, and like I look back and I'm like, that could have gone sideways really bad, man. Like, really,
Right.
really bad. So I start asking very close people to me, why is this the case? Like, what if I'm just oblivious to what the reality and the seriousness of the issue? But I also understand I have a very high degree of situational awareness of I'm aware of what the hell happening around me. It really comes down, like, I kind of know this deep in my heart, but like, and like, to somebody else to kind of voice it for you, give you the assurances, it's the faith that it's going to work out. Like, I just know it's going to work out. I don't worry. And that was an issue for me at some point in time. It's like, I should be worrying now. Okay, how the hell am I not worrying? Because that's a big problem, and everybody's worrying around me.
One of the things that I've noticed about you, Ibrahim, just getting to know you, is that you do have that awareness, but you have that calmness about you. So it's happening. You're not reactionary. When people are reactionary on the spot, that's when usually things go down. You take the time to study the situation calmly, and things are going to work out because you pivot correctly, because you don't just jump at the situation. And that's one of the things I definitely admire about the way you run your business and the way you behave towards your business, because there isn't that reactionary that, everything is crumbling down, let's try to save it. It's no, let's diagnose the problem, see where it is, and see how we can fix it.
The 24 hours rule. The 24 hours rule.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Like, let me get back to you in 24 hours.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Like, you will literally make a decision in 24 hours completely different than what you're going to make on the spot.
1,000%. And as an exercise, people should do that. People should write down the response after something major happens right away, and then revisit it in 24 hours and see if that would be the response. It would be completely different.
100%.
This person.
Yeah, like, I was supposed to do that. I'm glad I didn't. Yeah.
So fast forward, and here we are. You are now with eXp Realty Canada.
Yes.
Joining eXp Realty Canada, seeing the growth in your organization, and seeing, knowing your thoughts and where you would like to take it, and just seeing your success over the last couple of years. How has it been for you? How has it been for your organization mostly? How's it affected them and affected you in the path that you are taking, or you're continuously taking, for that next success level?
Yeah, it's been a wild journey, in the sense of, like, there was a couple of speed bumps as we look. Like, it doesn't matter where you are or what kind of brokerage you are. Life is not like a rainbow flying, like everything is nice, like colorful, like pink color, everything is happiness. There is a lot of shit that we have to go through.
Oh yeah.
And quite a bit of speed bumps as we like go throughout the whole journey when we switched from previous brokerage to EXP. But looking back, It was arguably one of the wisest and smartest business decisions that we've made, based on like facts, systems, and business model itself and sustainability of the business. I look back and I'm like, it's a blessing because I ask myself a question, and I ask everybody around me, people that I will not be where I am without them, and I'm nothing without. They are the reason why I got here. And sometimes I just happen to get the credit because sometimes I'm the face of the team and all of that stuff, and I try my best, and I'm doing it to put much of shed the lights on them as much as I can, because you deserve to get that credit.
Yes.
So I look back at them and I'm like, if you truly mean that you want to be like, oh, we raise by lifting others, we do win-win, and everything is done, I'm like, I cannot continue staying at the previous brokerage or any traditional model brokerage, because I would have always been above them, and we would never had the opportunity to have what I have if we're not with EXP. Meaning, EXP, the play field has been leveled. Everybody have the exact same opportunities to build their dreams, their retirement plan, their passive income, in addition to, not instead of, in addition to the income that we make from selling real estate. We have, I look at it that way. Simplest way to explain it, like, look, you go every day, your normal coffee shop, you pay $2, you get your cup of coffee that you really like. Another amazing coffee shop open down the street, you go there, you pay the same $2, you get amazing quality coffee, an extra 2 croissants on the side. Like, you can take the 2 croissants or leave them. It's up to you. But you're there for the coffee that you really like. Right. So when we go there, and I realize, you know what, we're moving from where we were to EXP Realty. The only difference is we have extra benefits that we can tap on if we choose to, that we didn't have before.
Correct.
So for people with me who are big thinker, they are not just good sales people, they're business minded. They want to grow businesses, they want to own businesses. The number one question that once you ask the question, now for anybody listening to us, if you're with EXP, kudos for you. Take that question. Maybe it's going to make you love the company even more. If you're not with EXP, think about it. Do I have a business, or am I at a business that has me?
I love that.
That's it. Period. End of discussion. There is 142,000 licensed realtors in Canada under CREA. None of us can sell real estate without putting our license at a brokerage.
Correct.
After that, we can go ahead and transact and trade in real estate.
Correct.
Now, which brokerage would I willingly choose to put my license at to run the transaction that I'm about to sell? Can I have share in the growth of that brokerage in the form of ownership in that brokerage? The answer is yes or no, up to you. So if you want to, here is what you need to realize. If you're in a non-EXP traditional model, amazing companies out there, we came from there as well. You are at a business that has you. They have you at the business that the broker owner of that franchise owns in your city. So somebody owns the broker in your city. So you're at a business that has you. You don't have a business.
No.
FYI, you don't have a business. You just have a job, meaning once you stop selling real estate, your income will stop. Was the last transaction you're gonna transact in your career.
Correct.
Now, I understand that most of the top producing people are smart, which means we're gonna use that money, gonna invest in real estate. You're gonna own, like you're planning for after retirement. I get that. I understand that too. My question is, the time that you were at the business while now you're retired. Okay, now that you're retired, the time that you took, let's say, was 10 years a career span, just simple math. That time when you were selling real estate in those 10 years, have you helped it contribute towards the growth of the brokerage that you were at? The answer is yes.
Absolutely.
How did I help contribute towards the growth of the brokerage that I was at? Well, I ran X number of transactions over the 10 years under that brokerage. I paid brokerage fees for 10 years under that brokerage. And a lot of friends that I know joined that brokerage because I'm there, because they like it. So perfect. So you've helped it contribute to the growth. Yeah, they did. Perfect. Did that brokerage give you anything back in exchange of you causing that growth for us.
No.
Oh, I mean, no. I'm not talking about the GCI that you've made, because you're gonna go to ABC, like under, like, like in the middle of nowhere brokerage. You will still make the same GCI. GCI is exchange of the sale. That's not what I'm referring to. The business of the brokerage that you run your business at while you were in transactions. It's a black and white, simple. The only problem, Nadia, is I look at it as the cup of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
The cup of coffee, me and you cannot argue the quality of the coffee inside. The difference of the people that are not with EXP yet, okay, that I believe they will as soon as they realize, whoa, how didn't I see it that way before?
Right.
The cup of coffee, the problem, everybody agrees with the ingredients and the quality of the coffee itself, the beans.
Mm-hmm.
They have an issue with how it's shaped, okay, the cup of coffee, and the server that delivered the coffee to them. Okay? You understand what I'm saying by that?
Yes.
So the cup of coffee is like, you know what? I got introduced to this coffee through an ugly looking mug, okay? The marketing is really bad. The way it looks is just not funny. And then the server that rubbed me off the wrong way, they didn't smile in my face when they gave me the coffee. Even though the coffee is good, I'm not enjoying, I'm not gonna buy it from this. If we change the cup of coffee to be a beautiful looking mug, and then the server comes from an understanding of what the consumers need. Consumers in that case is real estate agents, okay?
Yep.
Delivered to them by other peers, people like them that understand they're not Mickey Mouse, they're good business operators, proven to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
The recipient to the coffee is going to be completely different. It's going to be like, that tastes good now. Coffee looks good. The community, I'm sitting in a coffee shop that everybody's happy.
Right.
What? I'm gonna go freaking get that coffee now.
Yeah.
That's where, like, if you're not with EXP yet and you got introduced to the model, I understand, because I was in your shoes for 2 years and 3 months.
Revisit it again. Revisit it again. Yeah.
3 months, I am not interested.
Yeah.
Until I kept digging deep, and then I'm like, it's more of waste of time now. I gotta have to make a move, because like I keep booking holes to find like a loophole. I can't find anything.
Right.
My problem was with the people that introduced me to the model. Okay, I didn't like what the cup of coffee looked like.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had no problem with the ingredients.
Yeah. A lot of times it is the way it's portrayed, and it's sometimes it's not explained properly. But I encourage everyone, and I'm sure you do, Ibrahim, and you welcome the conversation, that if you have heard of EXP or taken the path of learning about EXP and it just didn't resonate right, whether it's a year ago or 2 years ago or 3 years ago, to revisit it now, because so much has changed at our company, and it's forever changing. But it is such a sustainable model, the fastest growing independent real estate brokerage at 90,000 agents internationally in continuous growth. And I'm sure that if they were to reach out, that it would now start to make sense. Being with another company for myself for 18 years, it took 18 years for me to understand and say, my God, why didn't I see this sooner? So, I understand it does take time.
100%. And leading by production, Nadia, that's the single most important thing on the planet Earth, because every single realtor got that license to sell real estate.
Yes.
People will join the brokerage because we're at the place that will help you sell more houses. If you want to build the team, we're going to help you, show you how to build the team to the biggest size teams in North America.
Yes.
Look, there is extra benefits. That's cool. You wouldn't get them anywhere else. But you're not joining because of the supplementary. You're joining for the main core business, which is selling real estate.
100%. And now having our new chief learning officer revamping all the education, what agents don't understand is that traditional brokerages, I find, is that they have a canned approach. So they have one specific trainer that they all train the same thing over and over again. Whereas our training is coming from the icon agents. It's coming from the top. It's coming from, ways of that they've done the business and it's tried and proven, and they're teaching it back to our agents, which is absolutely phenomenal, because you're learning something new every single day. And what I found with EXP, and when, something that I take big pride in, is that we develop the entrepreneurs. We develop the leaders. And that is why when we think about it, you gave great examples of, how we help you take your business to that next level. But you are not here working for a brokerage, that when the brokerage is no longer in existence, your business is not there. You are building your own business so that if you're no longer involved in that business, it is still generating income for you. So, when we talk about entrepreneurs and leaders, this is what EXP does, is it builds those leaders, it builds those entrepreneurs such as yourself. And we have them coming to us because of that, because of how we help them. But one of the key things that you said, Ibrahim, is that this company gave you the opportunity not just to build for yourself, but it gave you the opportunity to give that same opportunity to every member that is on your team.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
And
100%. 100%. And then the fact that, hey, we're moving here so you can have opportunities that I cannot give you in any other traditional broker. You're not gonna, I won't be able to give it to you.
Yeah.
So come here. Now we're growing together side by side.
Exactly.
A true partnership, not just saying it.
100%. And that is what a true leader is, and a true entrepreneur, is that you're giving everybody that surrounds you that same level of opportunity that you have. Why should they always be second? You are putting them at the top with you, that same front line. We are all in this together. And that's what drives them, is that my leader wants me to be exactly like them, if not better than them. And that's what I find that this company gives you. I just want to thank you for your time today. But before we go, I wanted to address something that I see on your social media often. Other than your beautiful wife and daughter, I see you addressing your mom a lot. How has your mom affected your life?
Everything I have in life, I'm a firm believer, it is solely due to the prayers of my mom, the non-stop prayers of my mom to me. It's why I have what I have. Not because I'm smart or maybe that has played part of it, but like the primary source of blessings is her non-stop prayers for me. I'm very well aware of that, and I don't take it for granted. So she's the number one in everything I have.
I love reading it. I love, just seeing, you can just tell by when you put the words out there of how much love you have for your mother. And, that must give you a level of comfort that no matter how many times you fall, she's always there to be able to pick you up.
100%. Like I do the same thing with my daughter. I'm instilling in her heart, her head that nothing comes before your mom, including me. My daughter understands it's your mom is first and single most important person in your life, period. Like she comes 3 times before Bob. Even I lead by example. My wife sees how I'm doing with my mom, and she sees how I'm doing with my daughter to my wife, so she can understand that her mom is the best, her mom is the number one.
She truly is. She truly is. You have a beautiful family.
100%.
Well, thank you, my friend, so much for being with me today.
Thank you for your wisdom. I appreciate it.
My dear, have a great day.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.